Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Anime Mystics. I'm Roman.
I'm Belle.
And today we are doing our One Piece East Blue Saga discussion.
Yep.
We finished off the saga last week with the Warship Island arc. We will not be discussing that in this.
Nope.
It's completely filler and has nothing to do with the story.
So we're just...
Except for the final half of episode 61.
Yep. We will talk about that.
Yeah. Cutting out Eric, who makes an appearance. We're not going to talk about him. But everything else dealing with that is going to be talked about. So I think first off...
Whew, let's get in.
Let me see. I don't think I'll... Let's not talk about this yet. First, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Before starting One Piece, what did you expect out of it?
It's kind of hard because so many people praises the show that I was kind of nervous, but excited to go into it because, you know, and this is like a lot of people's holy grail show. Like, people swear by it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hope I enjoy it because if I don't,
We're going to make a lot of people mad.
Yeah, I was like, a lot of people are going to be very upset. So I was a little bit nervous, but then I was also like, I hope it meets the expectations that everyone is setting for me. Because not only you that likes it a lot, I have a lot of friends that liked it and was like, you need to watch it, it's amazing, it's one of the best shows you ever watched, like, hyping it up. So then I was like, kind of worried, because everyone's hyped it up so much that it's not
You
gonna...
didn't think it would meet the expectations.
I was like, I don't know if any show can meet the expectations of, like, a ton of people being like, it's the greatest show you'll ever see, it's, like, amazing, you're instantly gonna love it. Like, you give me more realistic, like, what to expect.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I try not to tell people, like, oh, it's the greatest thing you'll ever see and stuff like that. I try to be a little more, like, look, it's good, but, you know, it's not for everybody. The art style's a little weird, and sometimes the characters can be kind of this, but trust me, it's really good. Once you get past a certain point, it is going to amaze you.
You were, like, one of the few people to tell me, like, at first it might be a little bit slow. You may not, like, get into it and understand why so many people like it, but give it some time. While others were like, you don't immediately, you're gonna love it. You're gonna be drawn right in.
Yeah.
And then I was like, a lot of people are hyping it up, so I was really worried. But I was like, I hope I like it because one, I do see all the figures.
Yeah.
That you do own, and I'm not gonna lie, they look pretty cool. Like, especially like what I assume are the bad guys.
Yeah.
They got some cool looking bad guys. So I was excited to see like that. But as far as, like, what to expect, I only knew, like, the bare minimum of it, which you get kind of from the theme, where they tell you, like...
Oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
With, like, Roger and everybody going out to find his treasure, and Luffy being the one who...
That wants to be the Pirate King. Like, that's pretty much all
You knew.
Besides, like, the obvious...
Like, when am I going to see this person?
Yeah, like, it's also kind of hard seeing all these figures, because then I don't know where they stand. I don't know if they're good guys, bad guys, where these people will ever come in, because there's, like, 800 episodes.
Yeah, they're getting there.
They're getting there, almost at 800.
I think today was 795.
Yep.
I think that I said that
yesterday.
when we did our reactions to the newest One Piece episodes. The ones for us, anyway. The newest ones from us.
Yeah.
So 62 to 65.
So I was like, I wonder where these people are going to pan out. I wonder if it's even going to interest me.
Yeah. Like, she's seen Mihawk. Because I have a figure of him downstairs in a case. But she never knew who he was.
Nope.
She didn't know... Like, she knew he was from One Piece because I've mentioned it.
Yeah.
But she never knew who he was or when he was going to come into the story.
What his role is. Yeah. Anything. I see all these figures. I'm like, these are cool. I don't know anything else about them.
Alright, so basically, you were hyped up pretty much.
Yeah.
By a lot of people.
By a lot of people.
And we're pretty much hoping that you weren't going to be too
devastated,
overhyped.
Yeah.
And just not like the show. Because so many people were like, it's the greatest thing you'll ever watch.
Yeah.
That happens a lot, actually, to people.
Oh, yeah?
Not just for One Piece, but for anything. Like, I know for us, we get, like, we hear about, like, a movie. They're like, oh, it's so amazing, and blah, blah, blah. And then you go watch, and like, this isn't as great as what they said. Like, that happened to me with Ninja Scroll. It's an anime movie. When I first heard of the movie, it was in the 90s, when I was, like, 10 or something. And my cousin had watched it, Jesse.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, I say my cousin for them.
Oh, okay.
I know you know Jesse, but he watched it first, and then he was telling me all about it and how great it was, and then I still hadn't watched it. I didn't watch it till after I was in the military, and I had heard so many people talk about the movie, like how great it was.
Yeah.
That by the time I actually watched it, I was like, this is okay.
Yeah, like.
But I don't think it's as great as everybody was saying it was.
Like if you wouldn't have gone as hyped up as you were, you probably might have enjoyed it.
Yeah.
A lot more.
And then when I told somebody that, they were like, what? What do you mean it's not that great? I was like, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't bad. I liked it. But I don't think it was as great as everybody was saying it was. But I mean, if I might have saw it in the 90s, I might have thought the same. But I waited so long.
Yeah.
That I think by that time I had seen better.
Yeah, it's kind of hard when you watch something like that.
Yeah, so I can understand what you're talking about for One Piece, where so many people are telling you it's so great.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I don't want to be disappointed.
I don't want to be disappointed, and I also don't want a mob of people.
Like yelling at you?
Yeah, yelling at me about it.
Okay, so now that that's out of the way, the first arc is actually only 3 episodes. That's the Romance Dawn arc, which was when they first introduced Luffy, up until they got Zoro. I can't remember the name of the island they went to get Zoro, but it was that one with the Marine base, where they fought, I think his name was Captain Morgan.
Yeah.
Which...
like that.
It's an alcohol. Yeah. Very short, and it's just like a short introduction into Luffy and his character and what
to expect from him.
The first episode is you get to know his dream. Being the Pirate King, and he tells everybody.
Yeah, he's not shy about it.
I'm going to be the Pirate King. And you better not tell him that you're going to be the Pirate King.
Because that's instant, rivalry. Like, you guys gotta fight.
He hates you now. It's like, no.
It's already set in stone. I'm the Pirate King.
So don't even think about it. You could be, the king to something else.
Yeah.
But not the Pirate King.
It is me.
And you kind of get his outlook on what he's looking for as far as crew members.
Yeah, he doesn't want your typical crew.
No. He's not just looking for random people, they're kind of random, but he's not just looking for anybody. It's like, he's a good guy, he's strong, and he's a swordsman. Let's get him. Let's go check him out. And I guess at first he wasn't going to get him, because he's captured by the Marines for being a bad guy.
Yeah.
But then they find out the full story, and that's when he's like, he's going to be on my crew.
Yep.
And that's another thing you figure out, is that once he's decided...
That's it.
It's happening.
No matter what you say, even if you don't want it, it's happening.
It'll happen. Just let it happen, alright? Because Luffy's not going to give up on you.
No, he's just going to keep at you.
Yep. You were also introduced to... What's that kid's name? Kobe?
Yeah, Kobe, the one that wanted to be in the military.
Yeah, he wanted to be a Marine. Which is the opposite of what Luffy is.
Yeah.
Luffy's a pirate.
But
Kobe
he encouraged
wants to be
him.
A Marine. Yeah. Luffy's not about,
he doesn't
crushing people's dreams.
He encourages people, no matter what it is, even if it contradicts, what he wants to do. He's like, you be the greatest Marine you can be. And that's all you can be.
We'll just fight later if ever we meet each other. Because I know it's going to come down to that, and I'll just beat you up.
Yeah. But I think, people respect that from him.
Yeah.
That he's not just going to be like, well, your agenda doesn't meet what I want to accomplish, so I'm going to destroy your dream.
Yeah.
He's like, well, yeah, do it. What's holding you back?
Yeah, don't be a wuss. When we called him a coward.
Yeah.
He's all when he's telling him that he can never go against Elvita.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're just a coward. It's like, I don't like you. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just
so blunt about it.
He is. From what I've seen him so far, he feels a way, he says it, he's not one to shy about it.
No. He's going to tell you how he feels.
He's pretty transparent.
Yeah. You'll find that out about most shonen characters, shonen protagonists.
Okay.
They're, you've noticed, Luffy likes to eat.
He does love to eat, and I think that's my favorite thing about him.
That is a big thing with shonen protagonists.
Oh, they like to eat?
A lot of them love to eat.
Okay.
Look like Naruto. His whole thing was ramen. He loved ramen. Goku from Dragon Ball Z, he eats a ton of food.
Okay.
And now Luffy, who is just constantly give me meat.
Meat.
Just give me food, anything. I'll eat it.
Yeah, but make sure you have lots of it.
Yeah. Let me see. It's a very short arc, and it's not like it's the best part of the show. Because, again, it's just picking up.
Yeah, just starting. But the backstories, man.
Yeah. I think that's actually the first time you get a real backstory is in this next arc.
Yeah.
Orangetown arc, where they meet Buggy. Buggy the Clown, who was actually, I've mentioned before, was the villain I was talking about when I said that it turned me off of One Piece. Like, when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't read it, because it was the manga I saw first. I didn't know there was an anime, and I wasn't going to watch the anime
if that's what you saw.
If that's what I saw. I was going to be like, there's a clown. You know, I don't care. It looks stupid.
Yeah, it's just a clown.
And then I read it, and I was like, well, never mind.
It's like, I was wrong. My bad.
This clown is pretty violent. Yeah, Buggy turned me off of the show. It made me not want to read it at all.
He's definitely lacking. Like, farther into, like, the other arcs.
Yeah.
He's lacking. You know, he's not bad. He's not good.
He's just kind
of there. Like, alright, I don't mind you, but...
I guess you can call him the rival character. Because he really does not like Luffy.
Yeah, no.
And he's after him.
Yeah.
That's another thing you notice about Shonen. They always have a rival. Like for Dragon Ball, it's Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah.
For Naruto, it was Naruto and Sasuke.
Yep.
For, I think Yu Yu Hakusho, it might have been Yusuke and Hiei. I never finished that show. In fact, I didn't even get to the point where he showed up. But I'm going to say it was those two.
Okay.
But most shonen anime always have a rivalry. And for this, I'm going to say it's Luffy and Buggy. Although, not nearly as prominent in the series, is what I'll say. But Buggy is definitely interesting.
Yeah.
Well, with his powers being, like, you can't chop him up because he, like, goes into pieces. That's pretty cool. It's
a cool power, but I also liked how Luffy went about, like, taking him out. Oh, like with Nami.
Tying up his pieces.
Tying up his, like, all of his pieces and then...
Blasting him
away.
And this is the arc where you got your first taste of a One Piece backstory.
Which was way too... dang sad.
And it wasn't even for one of the crew.
It was for a dog, man. Like, that's what I'm gonna say. It was for a dog. Why did it need to be that sad? Like, I didn't need to have those feelings for that dog. I was like going to a backstory for a dog. No one cares about this dog. Bet you I cared about that dog when that backstory was over. I'm like, this dog has been through some hard times.
That dog went through a lot, and it doesn't help that they're showing it as he's getting his butt kicked by a lion.
Right? I was just like, it was just like...
Protecting his owner's store. His store, basically. Because he's now the owner, basically, because his owner's dead. But he's protecting the store.
With all of his little might.
And he can't do nothing because he's fighting a lion. Richie.
Yep, Richie.
And he's just getting his butt kicked.
He really is. But he tried.
He tried.
Really did.
Didn't really matter, though, because he did get his store burned down.
Yeah. Got all the food eaten.
And that's the first time you see Luffy really get angry.
Yeah, like... That's when you see that side of Luffy. Mm-hmm. Up to this point, I think all you see is kind of like cheerful Luffy.
Yeah, just happy-go-lucky, let's go on a good adventure type of Luffy.
But with this, you really see how much he can switch and do serious.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning of it, I was like, I like Luffy, I do, but I was worried that...
That's all he was gonna
be. That he was just gonna be that. That I was like, I like him, but I don't know how much I like him if this is him all the time.
Yeah.
So I was worried up until that point where he did switch, and you do see a completely different side of Luffy, where he's like super serious, and now like even to his facial expression and kind of like how they draw him.
Yeah.
I feel like it's completely different. You get a whole new perspective of this character, and like when he feels something is wrong, how he steps in.
Yeah. You can also see how caring he can be. Because he went up to the dog, got him his one box.
What he could get from there.
Sat down with him and just talked to him.
Like
very... Like he was talking to just a friend.
Like, he's very open. Like, he's not one to judge. He's not one to sit there. And if you're a stranger, he's willing to be your friend. He's like, I've never met you. You've never done nothing to me. I don't care what you've done, so
Yeah.
Let's just...
I mean, he's a pirate. What can he say?
Yeah.
What can he say about what somebody's done?
But he's just like... He's so open.
Yeah.
And so compassionate for anyone that I've seen. And that's shown throughout, I would say, the saga. With the dog, and then even later on with Nami.
Yeah.
Like that's...
Who you meet in this arc. Because she's on the island.
Yep.
Trying to get the map to the Grand Line.
Yep. Like, that's where you really see how, like... Not at this arc, but I think it's the next arc after that.
Syrup Village, where you meet Usopp?
Yeah. No. I don't remember where Nami's crying. I don't remember exactly which arc.
That is Arlong.
Arlong, yeah.
Yeah. That is when they go to her village.
Yeah. So when it gets up, you really see later on, like, how when he cares for you, you really do see what lengths he's willing to go.
Yeah.
For you. Like, you're not just... you're not just a crew.
You're not just an underling.
Yeah.
You're not just somebody there to fill up space on the ship.
It's like, he's picked all of these people for specific reasons, and he's handpicked all of you, so he does care about them. And that's
he
very
basically sees you as family.
He does.
You're basically almost family to him.
What is it called?
Nakama.
Nakama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think actually means friend, but I think they use it differently for One Piece.
Yeah.
It's basically like family.
It feels more like he has a family relationship. Like, he does. They fight like family.
They do.
They fight like family. They, like, argue. But when it comes down to it, he's like... They're all there. But you do see it more... I think the transition's a little bit more real with Luffy.
Yeah.
Because he is so, like, happy-go-lucky. So, like, laugh. Let's just go do this. Let's just do this.
It's like you see him mostly where he's happy and, like you said, happy-go-lucky. Mm-hmm. And then you see him when he's angry, and you're like, I do not want to see this guy.
Yeah, it's just...
I do not want to be on this guy's bad side.
He's such a good person, but like you just said, you don't want to be on his bad side at all.
Yeah. Because
once you are, that's it. Like, he won't stop until...
You're done.
You're done. And that's... I think that says a big part for his character.
Yeah. It's because, like you said, the first few episodes, it's like, well, he's just a happy guy.
Yeah.
He did get a little angry when he punched Helmeppo, but that's about it. It just got to the point where he's like, punch.
Yeah. It wasn't anything serious. It's when it was with the dog.
Yeah. With the dog is where you really see...
Like, that's transition.
His
serious side.
Serious side. And like I said, you do meet Nami in this arc. Where you find out that she's trying to get the map to the Grand Line. She hates pirates. And you're like, how you hate pirates? It's not until her arc where you figure out why she hates pirates.
Yeah, until you get to her backstory, which I will say One Piece is really good.
With their backstories?
With their backstories. With short amount of times that they do their backstories, they do make you feel for a character. I would say there's only one person's backstory I've watched where I felt like it kind of hits the bottom. Like, it wasn't bad, but it didn't hit me as emotionally as some of the other ones.
Usopp?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Usopp's was maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah. They
didn't put a lot into it. And I know somebody in the comments was like, well, it's going to hit people differently. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's true. That's just for me.
Yeah,
it didn't do much for me.
People will definitely take different scenes and portray it differently, and it probably does affect. Like, someone probably watched it and got really emotional, but as me watching it and having more emotion for a dog that's not even a part of the main crew, I kind of felt like that was a little bit like, Like, they put more into a dog that we don't even get to see anymore.
Than they did for Usopp.
Usopp is, like, a main crew member, and his story really didn't sit with me. Like, I didn't have as much feels as I thought I was going to have. Which is a little bit of a disappointment, just because... You get the dog story, and then you get Zoro's story, which is, like, super emotional.
The first crew member whose backstory is like, man.
Yeah, it's set, like, the bar.
Yeah.
For, like, oh my god, like, I didn't even know they could do this, like, and have, like, me feel this way for a character that we don't even really know.
That we just met maybe a few episodes ago.
Yeah, and to already be like, he's, like... I want him to succeed. To then be like, alright, this is like, the bar is set. Like, they're really going there. To then have Usopp's story, where I kind of felt like...
well, okay.
Yeah.
I kind of see what you're going with, but it's not doing anything.
Yeah, it just wasn't doing much for me. And then, like, to see, like, Nami's backstory after that. It's, like, it's kind of hard.
Nami, as I say right now, is the bar.
Yeah, that's where it's set right now.
It might have been Zoro, now it's Nami.
Yeah. It's, like, it was kind of hard to have, like, maybe should have done, like, different order. So it would have been, like...
Maybe should have had Usopp come in first.
Yeah, have Usopp, then Zoro, then Nami, because then it would have just continued to go up instead of being like, oh my god, that was amazing, to then be like, to now be like, oh my god.
But you are skipping someone. Sanji.
Yep. Sanji's pretty...
Sanji's was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I did mention that I would say a few things that were different from the anime and the manga.
Okay.
One thing that was different on this part was Sanji, where they show, you know, Zeph going in the water and his leg gets caught.
Yeah.
He has to use the chain to take his leg off. Does not happen in the manga.
Wait, he doesn't lose his leg?
He does, but he eats his leg.
Wait,
when he's on that rock. And he gives Sanji all the food.
He eats his leg?
He eats his leg to survive.
Why didn't they do that?
Because I guess that's too graphic for the time zone, or the time that they had it on. Because it's mostly for, like, kids.
Oh, okay. Oh, so, my bad. I didn't... Yeah.
Well, the way they probably did it. Anime mostly is for kids. The manga, I would say, is more for teens and up.
Okay.
But the anime, they do show some stuff in there that would be more for teens, but they do try to tone it down.
Oh, okay. Then, alright, I can understand that.
Yeah, Zeph actually ate his leg on that rock to survive.
I can believe that. I can believe that someone would do that.
I would believe that more than him surviving on that rock for months without food.
It seems more realistic.
Yeah.
Then, I don't know, to be honest, while I was watching, I was like, I don't know how this dude survived. Just like straight willpower. Like, not today, Satan. Like, that's I was like, that's the definition of not today. Not today, Satan.
But yeah, he eats his leg.
Wow.
And I was a little disappointed they didn't put that in, but I get why.
It's understandable, especially if that's the demographic that they're...
Another thing that was a little different in the arc with Usopp.
Okay.
And I can actually show you this one if I find the volume. The scene where, Luffy is asleep. He's got that cat, mask on him.
Yeah.
From him holding it and then going to sleep and stuff. And Nami wakes him up when Django throws his chakram at her. Remember? Mm-hmm. And Luffy stands up and he catches it in his mouth. And he cuts, like, the little sides of his mouth right here. Mm-hmm. Different. In the manga, she wakes him up and he stands up. But he's facing the opposite direction. And it hits him in the back of the head. Like, right here. And he's, like, falling forward because, you know, it hit him in the skull. And he stops himself and he just pulls it out of his head. And then yells, like, ow. You know, because in the anime, it cuts right here, and he's like screaming, like, "Oh my god, this hurts so much!" And I'm like, "Why?"
It's like
it's just the little side of your mouth, and it's like doesn't even look like it's that deep of a cut. But in the manga, it hits him like in the back of the head. And like I said, if I can find the volume, 1 second, I want to find this volume.
Okay. But that's crazy. I had no idea. Well, of course, I had no idea. I didn't read it, but I just. Yeah, I could see why they would change some things if that's, like, they want, like, younger people to watch it, too.
Yeah.
Like, I do understand that. But then I'm like, I would like that savageness.
It would be nice.
But,
not this one. Keep going.
As far as, like, besides that, yes. I'm gonna just talk about the backstories for it now.
Yeah, go with Zoro first, because he was the first one from the crew.
So, as far as, like, the backstories for me, with Zoro having his friend that was, like, wanted to be the greatest swordsman, and they made that promise together for her to die.
Falling down the stairs, too.
Yeah. Like,
it's not even like they got a little older and she died to a swordsman.
No, she didn't even get to go and live her dream. For him to, like, have her sword and then... Oh.
Sorry.
Hold on, guys.
See, it starts over here. Yeah.
My lord.
So, for all of you, see, gets hit in the back of the head with this thing. And he kind of, I keep having to, just kind of like, toughs it out. Puts his foot down to stop himself from falling forward and rips it out of his head.
Savage. I would have liked to seen that.
I thought that.
I don't think that was too bad. Like, yeah, it's a little bit graphic, but I don't think it's like.
It's not like.
It's not super bad. Yeah. But to sit there and have him like carry on and like that's like her dying made him want to be the greatest swordsman like even more. Like that fueled his passion for that.
I remember when we did the I think it was a 1-minute melee reaction. Roronoa Zoro versus someone else. I forget who. Kenshin Himura. Mm. I told you his backstory because I didn't know when we were ever going to watch One Piece.
Yeah.
And I kind of explained it to you. And I think the way I explained that part with him taking up her sword was like it's kind of like him carrying on her spirit.
Yeah.
Like it's him taking her with him.
Yeah.
As he goes through the journey, so that they can both be there when it happens.
Going through it. Yeah.
Yeah. I still think that holds up.
It does. It's a really good representation of, like, that backstory.
Yeah.
Because I would kind of feel like maybe her soul would be in the sword and, like, he fights with her. Like, that's the way I take it. I know that's not saying that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's it. Don't come for me. But
yeah,
that's how I feel like he probably feels like it is.
Yeah, like she's with him.
Yeah. And the way they just did it, showing them from when they're younger to him, like, still fighting to, like, be stronger and, like, seeing him go through that journey to where he is, like, even in this moment, it does make you feel for him. And since we already talked about Dog, I'm gonna just
move on
from him.
Usopp, basically, his dad left.
He left him.
He couldn't stay away from the sea, and just went out to be a pirate because that's what he loved to do.
Yep, and then Usopp just started his
lie
of
his mom died.
Yep,
that's why, because he was running to the house yelling the pirates were there to kind of, I guess, make her hope that he had come back to take them away and she would get better.
Yep.
But she knew. She's like, he's not coming back.
Yeah. He loves the sea more. So.
Yeah, and she didn't hate him for it.
No, she accepted it. I think she knew.
Yeah.
Like, you're marrying
a pirate. He's going to want to go back out to sea, and he's going to want to do what he wants to do.
So, I think she knew. She accepted it, and then
Usopp definitely accepted it. He loved the fact that his dad was a pirate and went out to sea. He didn't hate him for leaving and not being there when his mother died.
I will say this,
unlike a certain short blonde person in another anime.
I was about to say, I will say this. I do like the fact that he does not hate his father for the decision that he chose. Mm-hmm. I like that he respected the fact that he wanted to go out, and that was his dream, and he did it for a reason. I like that he accepted it and, like, moved on from it. He didn't let that define him. I will say that for Usopp. I will give him that.
And actually, that was his dream, too. He wanted to go out and be a pirate and do what his dad does.
Yeah. He, like, looked up to him, and I can appreciate that more than him sitting there and resenting him.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's what he was. He was a pirate. So, of course, that's what he's going to want. So I can respect Usopp for that reason, that he was, like, didn't hate his dad, that he even, still to this day, still looks up to him.
Yeah.
It's like, he still hopes to go maybe run into him. It's like, but that was his backstory and his journey, and I can't, like, a lot of shows, not even just anime, because I can't speak from a lot of anime. Right. I will say, for a lot of shows, they do portray the characters, like, whether it's, like, the wife or the kids, like, when someone leaves, they do always, I feel like, portray them, like, hating them, like, having resentment. So I think it was a little bit refreshing to see them not hate.
Go in a different direction.
Yeah. Like, it's a simple adjustment, but it's something that I don't get to see very often.
Right.
So I can appreciate that they did switch it up, and he doesn't hate his dad for that.
And actually wants to be like him.
Yeah, he looks up to him and wants to be like him. He hopes, like, for the best. Like, I can respect that more than... I think I would hate him, like, if...
If he hated his dad,
because I would just be like, you're stupid. Your father was a pirate. Your mother knew this. Your mother accepted this. You need to get over it. Like, move on. So I can respect Usopp from that.
Yeah.
For that.
He just needs to work on his courage.
He just needs to work on his courage. He really just does. He's a little bit of a weenie right now. He's a weenie.
I will say, even though he is a coward,
he tries.
He does do his part.
He does what he can.
Yeah. I'll
give him that. He does try. He definitely does try his best to help the team. But there are a couple instances, cough cough, when he leaves Zoro on the boat where I was like, dude.
Sorry, Zoro. I'll tell Luffy that you died bravely.
Like, he couldn't even just cut him loose like that.
Yeah, you could have cut him out of the.
He didn't have to stay. Just cut him. And be like, all right,
let's go.
Let's go. Instead of just being like, I'll tell him you died bravely. Woo! And then dipped. Like
him and Johnny, they both jumped off the ship, and Johnny was his friend. He knew Zoro.
Yeah.
Like, longer than Usopp
straight dipped. So I have like a mixed feeling for Usopp because he is a weenie, and there are some things that he does like that where it's like that's your crew, man. Like you got to be able to fall back on them, and they need to know that
you're there for them.
That you can like protect them. You're not just gonna sit there when it gets bad and be like, bye.
I'm out.
But expect them to protect you when you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I don't like, but like I said, I can respect that.
The whole thing with his dad and not hating him. Yeah.
I just wish he just needs to grow up a bit.
And I think because of that, that's the only reason I really don't find it sad. Because it's not like his mother was all like, oh, your dad just left and left
Yeah,
us.
It wasn't... I don't think his backstory was necessarily supposed to be sad. The way it was done, I wouldn't say it was sad. I would say it was more relieving.
Yeah.
Like, it was a different take on it. Everyone else's backstory was sad, 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 sad. Which I wouldn't say is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think it makes you feel certainly about a character. But his, I don't think they wrote it
to be sad.
To be sad. At least that's not the way I got it. Because if that's the case, I didn't...
If it was supposed to be sad, I think they would have made it longer.
I think they would have made it longer.
Fleshed it out a bit.
Because it's very obvious that they can do sad.
Yeah.
They can really work a sad story. So I don't think Usopp's story was meant to be a sad one.
Yeah.
I think it was written and done that way for that reason.
Yeah, I can see that.
But still not the best.
Definitely not.
Not the best at all, but...
his is definitely the weakest.
It is the weakest.
At least for us. If you really liked it more than everybody else's, then, that's fine.
That's your opinion. I can respect your opinion. This is just
for us,
it's
the weakest.
It is the weakest.
Sanji, then.
Sanji's... I can see why he has this passion, too. Like, with all of them, their passion definitely comes from their backstories. And the fact that he wanted to be a chef and wanted to be a cook because of the struggle he went through with, going through being hungry. And I can respect Sanji's character, like, a lot. Because even if you don't have money, if you're starving, he will feed you. Unlike some people, not in the show, just speaking abroad.
Right.
Like, some people would be like, you don't have money to pay for this? I don't care. That's not my problem. Like, I don't know if everyone would feed someone that's starving out of the kindness of their heart. To be honest, I don't think a lot of people would.
No, a lot of people wouldn't.
And that's just pure honesty.
It's also kind of hard because a lot of the time you see somebody like that and you're like, well, let's say, we're always told if somebody is asking for money, give them food.
Yeah, food.
And if they accept the food, you know that it's genuine. And if they get that out of my face, I want money.
Then they want something else.
Yeah. It's like, look, you're hungry, right?
Here's
a sandwich.
Food.
Here's something for you to eat. That's what we're always told.
Yeah.
It's nice to give a homeless person money, but you really don't know what they're using it for.
It's not reliable.
And it's kind of hard to tell because sometimes
people lie.
Yeah, and they're just doing it just to do it. Like I've read stories where some of them aren't even
homeless. Some of them are millionaires and they have tons of money and
they're out there on the corner asking for money.
So it's like, I understand it's hard for people to trust, but I can respect the fact that Sanji, regardless, like, he's like, I've been hungry.
Yeah.
I have, like, been starving before.
Almost starved to death.
So I know exactly what it's like to go through that. So the fact that no matter what, like at the end of the day, he's a chef, he's a cook, he's still a person.
Yeah.
And I like that. Like he doesn't let that just define him. He's like, I've been there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna help you. And what is his name? Genji?
Gin.
Gin?
Or yeah, Gin.
Like when Gin was starving and he came, and Sanji fed him, even though everyone was like, "Get out! You have no money."
Yeah, Patty.
Yep.
Like beat him up and threw him out of the restaurant.
And the fact that Sanji went and made him food and gave it to him, and he was like, "I don't have any money," and he's like, "I didn't ask for money. I'm just giving you the food." Like, I think that showed his character. Like, his backstory was rough. The fact that he almost drowned and then went on the island and, like, almost died. Like, starved to death. Like, had to ration his food and everything. So, to come back and be kind. Like, to sit there and not be like, oh, well. Like, some people have bad things happen to them, but then when it comes back to when they're fine, they don't remember.
Yeah, so they just go back to the way they were.
Yeah, they go back. I like that Sanji actually changed, and he's like, if a starving person comes in, we will help.
And also, it's like also because he remembers all the times where he was throwing out food that was still good. And he's like, it's leftovers. We don't eat the leftovers. Just throw them out. And he's like tossing it in the trash, and all the other chefs are like, no, just eat it. Don't let it go to waste.
Yeah.
It's still good food. But he was wasting so much food.
And then when he didn't have food, he appreciated it so much more. It kind of like opened his eyes. So even though Sanji is a ladies' man, he is.
I guess we can call him a ladies' man.
Well, he tries. I don't know what.
So far, the only ladies that are like going for him are the bad ones.
Yeah. But he tries to be a womanizer.
Yeah, he tries.
He tries. Emphasize the word tries, because I've never seen it work.
No, it's failing pretty badly. None of the girls he really goes up to are buying what he's selling.
He's like, next.
It's not like he's a bad-looking guy. I guess he's just coming on too strong. Like, because he's, like, all up in their face.
He is a little bit... He does come on a bit strong.
It's like, tone it down a bit, Sanji. You might get somewhere if you tone it down.
Right, you might have a chance.
Right now, and that's basically the whole reason. What do you say? 97.3% of the reason why he joined the crew was because of Nami?
Yeah. Because of Nami.
Something like that. It was some weird percentage.
Yeah, it was mainly because of Nami.
I remember making the joke. You mean the whole reason I joined this crew is not here when she left?
And speaking of Nami, like, I would say hers is the saddest.
Yeah.
Like, story.
At least for now.
For now.
Because we still got other people to go through.
Yeah. Like I said, as far as what
you've seen.
What I've seen, hers was heartbreaking.
And they had to do it in multiple episodes.
I think that also what made it a little bit more touching is it wasn't just like a one episode thing. It took multiple episodes to really like develop
the story.
And like why she is the way she is and why she feels the way she feels and why she's a part of that gang when they find out, like...
Oh, she's part of Arlong's group?
Yeah.
Yeah, you find out that she has to get the money.
Yeah.
The only reason she joined is because he gave her that deal.
Yeah. She wouldn't have joined. It's like, once you find out, like, oh, she's a part of this gang, it doesn't make sense. Because you're like, she said she hates pirates, but yet she's a part of this gang?
Fisherman... pirate group?
Yeah.
And, like, just stealing money?
Yeah. Something just wasn't right. But then when you get into her reason of why she went and made the deal with him, because, it is sad that her mom, even though it wasn't her real mom, I still say that was her mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, she was a baby when she adopted her, so...
The fact that she went and took them both in, and then she was willing to...
sacrifice
herself, be like, what I cost for one of us is enough for both of you guys, so...
I'm just paying for you.
I'm just paying for you, and the fact that she did...
starting to feel it again?
Yeah. The fact that she did that, and... Like, she did, it was not, like, shy about him shooting her.
No, he did it right in front of him.
Right in front of him, and it was just like... To then have to sit there and know that she watched him kill her mother to then have to be with him for all of those years to try to save her town.
It was what, 10 years? 8 years, right? She was 10?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like 8 years.
That she
7 to 8 years.
She worked with them and like dealt with them for all that time just so she could get enough money because he made that deal with her
to buy the island back so that he would leave them alone.
Yeah, so they could have their freedom. And then she thought the entire town hated her, but in reality they all knew. They all knew.
Because she told her sister, Nojiko.
Yeah.
That what was going on.
And she did tell, but I mean, it was just hard to watch her story because it was like she endured some for many years. And
I know for me the hardest part, not so much the backstory. I like the backstory; it's really good. It's when she's trying to convince the town not to go, and then when they leave, she just starts stabbing her arm.
Oh, when she's just stabbing it and she's on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they actually left that in. Considering they took out the chocolate.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I'm surprised they left her stabbing herself in the arm in.
That was...
But that is what really gets me.
I think that's what added to that scene. The fact that she just, like, broke. And that's where the tattoo is, and she was just...
stabbing.
Going at it.
She stabbed herself at least 6-7 times.
And the fact that she was just sitting there crying, and she had to... Like, Luffy was there, and she was just like, help. Yeah.
And he's like, of course. What do you think? I'm just going to let this happen to you?
It's like, I was just waiting for you to say...
To help
I need help.
He's going to help anybody that he cares about.
Yeah.
But if you're going to push him away, he's just going to be like, I need you to actually tell me. Because I don't want to interfere if you don't want me to.
Yeah, I don't want to mess... If you feel like this is okay, I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to get involved.
Yeah.
And I think that the backstory was rough, and then watching her just, like, snap. And then just sitting there and just sobbing and crying. And then finally breaking to ask...
Luffy for help.
Jeebus.
It's okay to cry. You can cry.
Like, I would say that was definitely, like, the hardest part.
Yeah.
To watch. Because you do... I'd say that's, like, the biggest, like, switch for Luffy. It's because you do. You see him, like, hurt for Nami.
Yeah.
You do.
It is, because the entire time, like, only for certain parts is when he gets, like, serious.
Yeah.
It's not like he needed to know anything about her. He just knew she needed help.
And that she was in...
He just wanted her to say,
I need help.
And when she finally did, that is when they all went to fight for her. Now I'm feeling it.
Right? It's really hard to talk about it. And I know I didn't cry, like, I don't remember crying during the scene, but...
You said it was, like, on the edge of your eyes.
It was
close. There's certain parts in One Piece, there are certain times where I'll talk about scenes that happen in One Piece where I feel like I'm going to cry just talking about it.
Yeah, just talking about it, it's like... It is really emotional, what they did there. Because it's like... It was kind of simple, but yet it was so much more than what it was.
Is all the emotion they put into the characters.
Yeah.
And I know we say this all the time. I feel like if it was the English version, I would not have felt nearly as emotional.
There's something about
the Japanese
it just
actors who I feel like they put a lot more into it.
They captured the feeling and the emotions of the characters. Like, I feel like I connect more with them. Yeah.
And I know we're going to get a little, like, some comments. It's not like I haven't seen dubbed anime. Like, when I first started watching anime, it was all dubbed.
Yeah, Naruto was
English. Dragon Ball Z was English. Trigun I watched in English. Cowboy Bebop. Fullmetal Alchemist. I watched all of my anime in English when I first started. Then I started listening to, like, I accidentally put, I think, Dragon Ball Z.
In dubbed.
It was dubbed, but I had the subtitles on. Mm. And what they said was completely different from what was actually being said. Mm. And that's when I was like, wait a second.
And that's when you...
That's not what he said. And so I started, like, I let it go a little bit, and I was like, what he's saying is, like, completely different. Mm. So that's when I started changing and started watching it in Japanese.
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, if they're just going to change whatever they're saying and to match what we want to hear, then I just rather listen to what they're actually saying.
Yeah, like, get the full experience.
So, I know a lot of people hate on us because we don't like dub.
Yeah.
But for me, that is a big reason why. Because they constantly change whatever is being said by the normal actors. And I feel like that would change the entire scene
it
for
does.
Nami if they did it in English.
I wouldn't watch it. It's just like, it would be so different. I don't think I would have the emotional impact.
No. Like, I've tried watching certain scenes from One Piece in English, and it did not do nothing for me.
Yeah.
And because see, I give it a chance sometimes. Like sometimes I'll be like, well, how did the English actors do? So I'll watch a scene from it, and I'll be like,
it's just not the same.
It's not the same. I don't like certain scenes will give me goosebumps when I see it. Like it's just so exciting that it's like the hair will just stand up, and I'll watch it in English and
nothing happens.
And I'm just like,
I don't think I would have almost cried and like getting emotional now talking about it. If it was in English. I know I wouldn't. I used to watch some anime in English, but I rewatched it in
Japanese.
Subbed, and it's like, it is different. Like, things that happen are different. Things that they say, like, reasons why they're mad at someone is like, it's completely all different. And then you're like, well, if I would have known this was the case, I would have felt completely different. Like, you get a whole different perspective sometimes, like, on a show. It can be so much more.
Things could make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
To you if you watched it in the original language with the subs. Like, I know there are certain scenes I've seen from other shows where I'm like, it doesn't really make sense on why that happened.
Yeah.
And then I'll watch it in Japanese with the subs, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I would feel similar, or like it makes more sense. It's more relatable. You're like, oh, okay. Like, I can't watch dubbed for that reason, just because I don't have that emotional connections to American actors. I maybe messed up to say it, but when it comes to anime, it seems out of place.
Yeah. But back on track.
Yep.
Again, I don't think it'd have as much emotional impact for me if it was in English. The Japanese voice actress for Nami did a great job.
She really did. Like, you can even tell, like, when she said, "Help me." Like, you could hear the heartbreak in her voice, and that's what, like, breaks your heart while you watch it.
Yeah.
Because then you see this girl finally break down. She's been trying to be strong this whole time to just finally...
And at first she's still pushing him away.
Yeah, it's
like,
still
go away, get away from me. And then it's like...
Finally, she just like...
I think she finally realized, that I can't do this alone.
Yep, and then she finally breaks, and it's so powerful. It really just is. It's a powerful scene that really does change, like... If you're doubting, like, One Piece up to that point, like, I feel like that scene should make you, like, really see what they're capable of. And that's not even me watching it.
I always tell people that to watch it up until episode 45. That's the end of that arc.
Okay.
Because, for me, and I'm guessing for you, that is when One Piece really picked up.
Yeah.
You finally see everything that it can be.
Like, the possibilities, like, now what they're capable of and what they can bring. Like, I like a show that can make me feel, like, upset, to make me cry, to make me angry, to laugh, like, and you can definitely see in that arc specifically how much potential there is for this show.
Yeah.
And that's like me, not knowing what holds or anything. Like, I feel like up to that point, it was okay. It was good. Like, I can definitely get it, and I can appreciate the backstories, but at Nami's, like, at the end of that arc, you definitely know that if you're gonna like it or not.
Yeah.
If you don't like it up to that point, even after that, it's probably not for you.
Yeah.
But I really think that's the breaking point for where you really see who will like the show and who won't.
Right. Because you get a little bit of everything that the show has to offer.
Yeah.
At that arc. You get the sad. Like, really sad. Not just sad.
No, it's like...
Like, it's not like, oh, this poor dog. It's like, oh my god, what did this poor girl go through?
Well, like, yeah. You really do. You just, like, you really see it.
You get comedy. Because you've still got Luffy going, oh, pinwheel?
Yeah.
That's so cool! You got Zoro being a badass, and I'm going to say badass because that's what he is.
Yep.
You finally get to see Sanji be what he can be, because he finally, like, fights somebody.
Fights with his legs.
Usopp, he had a little bit of character development, because you see him be like, no, I got to do this.
Yeah, he fights the one merman. Like,
Yeah.
Even in that, you see some growth with Usopp. Like, not much, don't get me wrong. It wasn't, like, mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But it's, like, you do see what they can be.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really... If I were to recommend it, I'd be like, you have to watch up to this arc, and if you don't like it after that, it's probably not for you.
I did have one guy from my work, my job, who said he did not get into the show until episode 400.
Oh my god. What?
And I was like...
How did you watch it for that long if you didn't weren't into
I said.
it?
I was like, why did you stay with it for so long if you weren't really into the show? And he's like, I was just kind of watching it.
Okay.
So I was like, it's like, well, you know, whatever. If you got into it at that point, then sure. But I wouldn't have stuck with it for 400 episodes.
Yeah, no, if I wasn't feeling it, I wouldn't give it any more. Like I said, I think that's the perfect...
Yeah, I tell everybody, get up to episode 45. If you don't like it up until then you're probably not going to like it. But I know episode 45, 'cause I think that's when... I think that's when they're leaving, right?
Yeah.
That's when they're leaving. But up until that point, everything up until that point is just really good.
Yeah.
Because not just Nami's backstory, and we've talked a lot about that backstory, but Luffy, you get a lot more character development for him.
You get a lot of character development for all of the crew, I'd say.
You see really how dedicated Zoro is with his wound that he has, because,
like,
I mean, that thing was just bleeding everywhere.
He was a mess.
Even Arlong was like, how is this guy alive?
Yeah.
What is keeping him up?
Yeah, I just, like, you really see how much they're willing to go.
Yeah.
For the people they care about. You really do, and you do see their teamwork and, like, how they're all working together, like with Sanji and Zoro. When they're both fighting, they're like, okay, you fight this person, and I'll give you enough time to swim to Luffy to get him out. Like, you see how they're willing to work with each other, and they put trust into each other. Like, you do see them all grow. It's not just Nami.
Yeah.
It's like, it's an overall, like, you see everyone grow.
Because
some more than others, but...
Up until that point, you just kind of see Nami as like, well, she's a navigator, she hates pirates, and she loves money.
Yep.
That's about it. That's her character up until that point.
That's all you get from her, but yet it's so much more.
Yeah,
and
then, after her backstory and everything, that's when you get... That's what I mean. Like, up until that point, that's all she is.
Yeah.
She hates pirates, she loves money, and she's just a navigator.
Yep.
But then you get to her arc, and then you're like, okay, I understand this character.
And, like, this makes sense.
Yeah. Same with, like, all of them, basically. This whole arc basically defines who they are as a crew.
Yep, as a crew and as, like, people, all of them. You do see all of their strengths. Like, all of them. How much they're willing to push themselves to the
limit.
The limit. And, like, how they all went out of their way to save Luffy. You know, they didn't really know Luffy for that long. I'm gonna be honest. They didn't.
No.
They could have been real a-holes.
They could have.
And they could have left
just
them.
about any other crew that knew their captain for as little time as they did, they would have been like, well, I'm the new captain.
Yep. Like, when you see later on when Buggy does come back, when he's gone and you see their crew being like, okay, well, who is now
the captain?
The captain. It's kind of like once your captain's dead or, like, in danger like that and he's about to die, people don't go to help. They go, okay, well, now who's in charge?
Yeah.
And you really see, even though they don't know Luffy for very long, they already all have a very strong connection with everyone there, not just him, and how they all fought to go get him out of the water.
Especially Sanji, because at that point I think he was only with them for a day.
He was only with them for a day, and you really do see him push to go save Luffy. You do see all of them really go above and beyond for their captain, which, like you said, no other crew would have done it. And all the other crews that we've come across, all the other pirates, when something happens to their captain, even if they're gone for a little bit. The
only one who was as dedicated was Gin.
Yeah.
He was the only one that was really as dedicated to his captain as these guys are for Luffy.
He hits a side pass. But everyone else that we've seen, like, they've all switched up. Like, okay, now who's in charge? Which I think they did a good job of showing us, like, a couple other crews, like, do that before having them, like, all fight for Luffy.
Yeah.
Because it makes that so much stronger. Like, it's not like, oh, this is something all pirates will do. It's like, no, most pirates won't, and they are.
Yeah.
And some of them haven't even been with them for as long as you would think. Yeah. They would need to be to have that connection with each other.
Exactly. You know who we skipped over for backstory? Luffy.
Oh, yeah. Well, Luffy's just... Luffy, like...
Luffy's backstory is less sad for him and more sad for Shanks.
Yeah.
Because he lost his arm trying to save him.
Yep.
Because Luffy's backstory is basically he meets Shanks, captain of the Red Hair Pirates, who is his idol.
Yep.
The one person he wants to be like, other than the Pirate King.
Mm-hmm.
That is his whole reason for going out. He met Shanks and was like, I want to be a pirate.
Yep.
And I want a crew greater than yours because, I mean, you're like kind of talking down to me. They liked him. They were hanging out with him in the bar.
He was drinking his milk.
Giving him stories and telling him about their adventures, and he was getting all into it. And
then he eats the devil fruit.
By accident, anger eating.
Yep.
Because those bandits came in and were like, basically stepping all over Shanks.
Yeah.
But he basically, what'd he say? They could do whatever they want to me. I don't care.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth my time. But Luffy was like, well, you just let him do whatever. You know, you're supposed to fight back. They have a different outlook.
Yeah, they definitely do.
But they have the same determination for their friends.
Yep.
Because Shanks, what'd he say? You could do whatever you want to me, but you hurt my friends and I'll come for you.
Yep. It's like, he puts his friends and the people he cares about first.
Yeah. Before
himself. And that is shown in Luffy's backstory. That he goes to save Luffy and ends up, paying a big price. Like, he lost his arm.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even upset about it.
No, he was just like, it's just an arm. As long as you're okay.
He comforted Luffy when he told him, like, he's like, your arm. He's like, it's just an arm. And, like, I think that's what also makes him look up to him. Because it's like, even in that moment, it wasn't about him. It was about Luffy.
Yeah.
And making sure Luffy was safe. It's like, I don't even care that I lost an arm. If you're good, that's all that matters.
It didn't even seem to bother him, like, as far as pain goes.
No, he was just kind of numb, it looked like. He was just like...
It was like, no, I lost an arm.
Yeah, it's whatever. So
I don't know if you noticed, but when they were going through the all the crews after Luffy got his bounty, and Mihawk goes to see Shanks, and he's like, "You here to duel?" And he's getting his sword ready, and he goes, "I have no desire to duel a one-armed person like you." They dueled all the time before, but now it's like, well, you only got one arm.
Yeah, so now it's like...
Which should tell you something about Shanks' sword skills.
That he was a great sword. Yes. Great swordsman. Especially since I did notice that. I was like... It's kind of sad to see him go from, like, being so great to then now. But he still doesn't... I like his, like, attitude.
He's very down to earth.
Like...
Very... He's like Luffy in a way. Easygoing.
Yeah. He's very easygoing. He doesn't let it bother him.
Yeah.
He doesn't let it define him. He doesn't soak and, like, mope. He really just, like...
He just likes to have a good time.
Yep.
Let's have a party. Let's drink. Let's eat. Let's just have fun.
Yep.
Which I think is where Luffy got his whole outlook on what pirates should be.
He really did get it from Shanks. I would say, looking at his crew and how he was, he's like, I want a crew. Just like yours, but better.
Yeah. Just like yours, but better. I'm going to get a great crew, and we're going to be better than you, and I'm going to be the Pirate King.
Right.
And that's when he gets his hat. His treasure.
Yeah, that no one
needs to touch. At all. Except for Nami.
Yeah, she fixed it, though.
She fixed it. And he put it on her head when he said he would help her.
Yeah, that was also touching.
Yeah.
Because then you know... Like, that means the world to Luffy. And she realized it.
That... Because obviously there's ships.
Yep.
I think that started the whole Luffy-Nami ship.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. When he gives her the hat. I think that started it. I'm not a big fan of that one.
I can't see that right now.
I see her with Sanji. Just because Sanji's so, like...
Infatuated with her? Yeah. I don't know. I can't see them.
But, yeah, I don't see him with, like, Luffy with Nami. I don't see it. But yeah, I can see that starting the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, his hat is... I don't know if you've noticed, but that seems to be what the one characteristic that people take from him.
Straw hat.
Straw hat. Luffy.
Straw hat. Yep. Like when he's at the last arc, well, not the last one, right before.
Loketown?
Yeah, where he meets Smoker.
Yeah.
And they're all looking for Luffy.
Yeah.
They're looking for Luffy, but then all of a sudden he runs into him, trying to get directions to the execution platform.
Yeah.
He sees him, and then when one of his other guys comes back and has the picture, he's like, Straw Hat.
Yeah.
It's like, that always seems to be the go-to to how people describe him. Straw Hat.
Yeah. Because you don't really see too many with a straw hat.
No,
I mean, it did belong to Shanks at one point, because he gave it to him.
Yeah.
But
it's different.
Even Shanks didn't get defined by the straw hat. Just Luffy.
Yeah. It's just, it's not like an accessory. It looks like more or less a part of him. Like, it goes with him. Like, when you look at Luffy, it doesn't look like out of place. Like, oh, he's just wearing a hat. It's like, no, that's a part of him. It just fits. I can't really describe it, but they go together.
I will give you a small hint to something. It's not a spoiler, completely. But there is a lot more to the Straw Hat than you think.
Oh, okay.
You will find out much later.
Okay.
But that's what I'm going to say. But yeah, everybody, you'll notice that also later on. A lot of people will call him Straw Hat Luffy. Not just Luffy, but Straw Hat Luffy.
Okay.
Because the Straw Hat becomes basically like...
a part of him.
A part of him, like you said. Because like you said, with Smoker, Straw Hat.
That's the perfect way to just like... He didn't know him, but then it's like Straw Hat.
It's the one thing about the guy you could take and be like...
He was wearing a straw hat.
Yeah.
It's like something different that just like only he really has.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something you're like, oh, you're wearing a cap? Whatever.
Yeah.
It's different. It's unique, and you definitely know that it's something for him and only him.
Yeah. It's pretty cool though when you hear him go Straw Hat.
Straw Hat.
I don't know why I think it's so cool, but I love it when they say that Straw Hat Luffy. It just sounds so cool.
But
yeah, this. What do you think of the villains so far?
Buggy, like I said.
Not good, not bad, just okay.
He was okay.
Alvida.
Which one?
Keep them together.
Keep them together?
Yeah, because you only really get to see both forms, like, very minimally.
Okay. She looks like she's got potential. Definitely now that she's had the devil fruit.
Yeah.
Her character looks like has more potential. For me. So, stands in the middle.
Alright.
Maybe want to see more of her. I'd say the one villain that has really, like, stood out is Smoker.
Smoker?
I would say it's because of the same reason you pointed out to me. I think it was when we first watched it. That he is the only one that has...
Beaten
Luffy. Like, you really see... This is the first time, like, up to this point, you do see Luffy pretty much demolish, like...
All of his
villains. Like, the only one he kind of had a problem with before, but still ended up defeating, was Arlong.
Yeah.
Like, up to this point, like, you kind of just assume, like...
Luffy's gonna beat you.
He's gonna beat him. You kind of get that mentality. It's like, well, it's Luffy. He's gonna win. And then when you actually get a different, like, view, like, oh, it kind of makes you step back, like, there's a lot of people that have eaten the devil fruit. So, you can't just assume that
his powers are gonna match up against everybody.
Because he was pretty much, like... Useless against Smoker because he was turning his body into smoke. He couldn't even do anything against him, which really, I think that's when you see Luffy at his most, like... Vulnerable. Because you do see him losing, and then he does get lucky and ends up getting away. And that's just by, like, a chance. If he would have stayed there, he would have lost.
He would have been caught, and his journey would have ended right there.
And you definitely do... That does set a stone for, like... You can't just expect Luffy to win.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of the impression I had got up to that point. Like, with Arlong, I would say that was one of the longer fights that we had with the villain.
Yeah.
So it was, like, very interesting to see, like, with him, like, oh, someone was finally putting up a fight. But then he ended up winning, and you're just like, okay, this is how it's gonna go. And someone may put up a fight, but in the end, it will always be Luffy who comes up top. So that's kind of like the mentality I got for the villains.
Yeah,
so,
kind of threw you for a loop.
It did. So when you do see Smoker and you do see the challenge and you do see, like... I like with each villain, it seems like they've all had, like, the Devil Fruit. Except for Arlong.
Well, actually, the only ones that have had Devil Fruits, Buggy, Smoker, and Alvida got hers at that last arc.
Yeah.
But...
Arlong didn't.
Captain Kuro, the guy with the long...
Oh,
legs,
yeah.
Who we haven't talked about yet. He didn't have one.
I kind of forgot about him.
What's his name? Don Krieg, he didn't have one.
Oh, no.
He just used a lot of weapons.
Yeah.
And Arlong, because he's a fishman. He was
Yeah.
already 2 times stronger. And he can't eat a devil fruit. He's a fishman.
Yeah,
he'd have to stay out of the water.
Yeah. So, I would say it was good to see a different perspective from, like, the villains. But I will say the villains I did name were some of the
bigger ones.
The bigger ones, to me, like the one that had...
The biggest impact.
Yeah, the biggest impact. Like, the one with the nails, yeah, like, during it was, like, intense, but afterwards, it's not something that stays with me.
Yeah.
Like, some villains did make bigger impacts. Even with Buggy, as much as I didn't, like, I thought he was average, I did forget about the one dude. And it wasn't even that much long, like, ago since I've seen it. So that shows how much of an impact he had...
On you.
On me. And...
Well, he didn't really have very good, a very good motive.
No, it did. It was... Maybe that was what it was, but... I
mean, Kuro was more... Oh, well, I just want a complacent life. So I'm just going to kill this lady and take her whole house and money.
Yep.
Krieg was just, I want a ship that nobody's going to think is going to be a pirate ship, and then I'm going to take over everything. Which... What?
Yeah.
Arlong was, like... I like... He's one of my favorite villains, like, out of the entire series, because his was, like... I'm taking over this island, I'm enslaving basically all of you for money, and then I am going to take over this entire ocean.
Like, it made sense. I was like, okay. Like, I get it, you got goals.
Because I need money in order to do all this, and you guys are going to supply it.
Yep. So, I would say...
Then he was just ruthless.
He really was. I would say with him, he had, like... Sorry if I keep looking off. The figures are, like, right here.
They're right here. Okay. You know what? I'm pulling him out of the case so they can see.
Okay. So he's like right here. So right now I am looking right at him. Just because he is ruthless. With his fight, you do see like how much they are like willing, like they don't want blood.
So this is what she's looking at.
Yep.
With his big sword. She keeps looking over because he's like right in the case next to her.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just put this right here. You can see the blade, but now you don't have to look over to the side.
But I do think that their battle, you do see like how ruthless they really are for blood.
Yeah.
Like with all of them, the rest like before that, yeah, they did seem like they wanted to kill him, but you never really get the impression like
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. While with him, you do see a lot of blood.
Oh yeah.
A lot of blood. Like, it is an intense battle. Like, it really just is. So to see that, and then that really kind of sets somewhere, but then you do see him get defeated. But he does put up a really big fight. And the way that he does end up going out is pretty savage.
Oh, when he's biting Luffy on the side and his foot just pushes him down through all of the floors of the building.
Yep, and just all crumbles on top of him.
Oh, that whole scene was emotional too, when he's kicking out all of the maps and everything in Nami's room. Like, he figured out basically she hates this room.
Yep, so I'm just gonna eliminate it. It needs to go.
Disappear.
This brings pain to her. So it's like, that's a really... You get so much from
That
him.
is one thing you will know about Luffy, is he can figure out anything his crew needs. Like, he hears certain things and he'll be like, okay, I know what I need to do to help you.
But, yeah, I would say he definitely put a lot of emotion. And I don't know if it's because of everything that was already going on in that arc or what, but he did. He brought a lot of emotion as a villain.
Yeah.
Probably, he was one of the most emotional-filled, like, villains that we've seen. Even though Smoker, like, did overpower Luffy, I would say he stands at the top.
Arlong? At this point.
At this point, from what I've seen.
From what you've seen, he's, like, the standard.
Yeah.
For villains.
He's set the bar pretty high for what a fight should be between Luffy.
Yeah.
Like, a good fight. Like, that is the level where it's been set.
Yeah, because up until then, Luffy didn't really have much challenge.
No.
Like you said, the guy with the claws, he didn't really do much. He kind of cut Luffy a little bit, but other than that, Luffy didn't look like he had much trouble.
No.
Krieg, he had a lot of weapons, but I mean, it's not like it bothered Luffy when he pulled up that cape with the spikes.
Yep.
It's not like it stopped him. He punched you
Yeah.
with that cape on. It's not like it was going to stop him from doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah. This was...
Which, I mean, that was painful to watch. And
it was
really cool when he punched him through that spiked cape.
But I will say he set the bar for what I expect a good fight
to be
with a good villain.
Yeah.
I want to be able to hate a villain.
Yeah.
I want to have some emotion, and he's the only one that's made me feel some type of way. Like, he feels like a villain. The rest of them don't. They feel like pirates.
Yeah.
Like,
we're gonna do what we want.
Yeah, like, I don't know if that sounds like, if that makes sense. Like, they just feel like pirates to me. All the other bad guys, they don't have that emotional connection where I'm like, I just want you to lose. I don't like you. He's like the only one so far that has made me hate them. Like, I did not like him at all. And that's what he's supposed to make me feel. So that's how I expect.
I always like it when I hear people say, "Oh, I hated that guy because he made me feel this and blah blah blah," and I just don't like him. And I'm like, well, that makes him a good villain.
Yeah, that's
it's like you're supposed to hate the guy.
Exactly, and that's what I want from villains. And we weren't getting that. Like, I was like, I don't like you. You're kind of like an A blank, but like it wasn't like he's now set the bar for what a villain should be.
Right.
Like, he had the emotional feeling to make me not like him. I wanted him to lose so bad. To then, like, having him lose and then feeling happy that he lost. And then having a different feeling with the relief of the crew, like I was a part of it.
Yeah.
Like, that's something a good villain is supposed to do.
A good show.
Yeah.
Or movie is supposed to do that, where they make you feel that way about the villain. They make you feel that way about the characters.
Yeah.
Like the protagonist, his crew, or like friends or whatever. You're supposed to feel like this town is in a lot of danger.
Yeah.
And I want Luffy to kick his butt. Because he's done so much to Nami, he's done so much to her family, her friends, everybody she
everyone's
knows.
Involved. It's like...
And I just want him to, like... I would say I want him to die.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but yeah, I when he died, I was not upset. I felt relieved, and I felt, like I said, I felt like I was a part of the crew for a minute. Like, I felt the relief, like, for Nami and for all of them.
Yeah.
That he wasn't there no more.
And I do want to say, I don't really consider Smoker a villain.
No, like, he's just doing his job.
Yeah, because he's a Marine.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to go after the pirates. And he's like, I haven't let a pirate escape from this island ever since I got here. So, I'm not going to let my record be broken because of you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a villain, but he's doing his job. He's just a bad guy to Luffy because he's trying to go after him.
Yeah.
So, Smoker's not a villain, but he's powerful. And he's definitely someone that they've got to worry about.
Yeah. And I think this is the first one the first guy or person you've seen that has an ability where you can't do nothing to him.
Yeah. Like, I want to know how you fight against him. Who would, like, because at this point, no one in the crew can.
No, nobody.
No one can go fight against him with the skills they have.
No. You'll find out a lot more about that later.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna say, there's gonna be more people like him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not necessarily Smoke.
But different variations, probably.
Yes, but you will see more people like him that they will have to deal with.
But
yeah, so I wouldn't consider Smoker a villain. Bad guy, yes, because like you said, he's after Luffy.
Yeah, he's a bad guy, but not a villain.
But he's technically a good guy because, like you saw, that kid run into his leg and not spill her ice cream all over him, and he gave her money. And said,
I honestly thought he was about to be really mean to the kid,
like Captain Morgan.
Yeah,
how he was on his island, where he was like pretty much had his thumb over all of them. Like, just do what I say because I'm the reigning marine on this island.
It was refreshing to see that. So I wouldn't classify him as a villain. Like you said, bad guy. He is a villain.
He's a villain.
He's a villain because he tormented that village. Tormented Nami. Like, everyone. He caused everyone so much pain, so much, like, fear. Like, he is a villain.
Yeah.
Smoker, bad guy, yes. But that's just because he's going after Luffy. But other than that...
He's not really... He's a bad guy, but not a villain.
Yeah.
He's just doing his job.
Yeah.
And...
Sometimes
you need a guy like that.
Yeah.
You need a guy who's just doing his job and is trying to like get in your way.
So.
And he is after them. He's going after them. He said we're going to the Grand Line. Let's get a ship. And I don't even think he told headquarters.
Nope. He just left with that girl.
Tashigi.
Yep.
The one that reminds Zoro of his friend.
Yep. Because she has sworn to fight him.
She needs to get that sword back from him.
Yep. Because he should have. She felt like he
lied to her,
and
which is funny because you didn't even ask.
Yeah, so
I don't think he would have told you.
I don't think so.
You still never asked like, what's your name?
Yeah.
You just kind of assumed a lot of things about him and then got him a job at the Marines.
And then you got upset when you realized
who he was.
So, I would say the fact that now Luffy and them are in the Grand Line and that they've made it all the way there, even though that journey was really hard. Going up there, I want to see, even though it's going to be hard to watch during it, I want to see more villains like Arlong.
Okay.
Like, I know I'll probably regret it later on, but honestly, I'd rather have a villain that's an actual villain than have something happen to someone I'm like, that's who does it? Or that's why this happens because of this guy? I'd rather it be a villain because then I can fuel my rage.
Yeah.
Not like be like, this joke
is the bad guy.
Is the bad guy. Like, I want real villains.
Like Buggy.
Yeah.
That's how I felt about Buggy.
Yeah.
It's like, are you serious?
I wasn't saying Buggy because I didn't want to just target him, but yeah.
I can't help it. Like I said, he was the one that almost made me not read One Piece.
Yeah. So
yeah, I kind of have to say Buggy. Buggy is the one for me like that, where I'm like, are you serious? A clown?
Yeah. It's kind of a joke.
I guess, but I'm not going to read you.
So, I want more villains like Arlong. He has set the bar high, and I'd rather have a good villain than have a person that's just like a joke.
Yeah.
Because then that brings more to the show than just being like, oh, this is the bad guy. You'd be like, oh. Okay. Because then you kind of like lose something in there. Like, whatever you're doing, if it was an actual villain, you'd probably get way more.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have more of these guys. And now that they're in the Grand Line, I'd like to see
well, after they hyped up the Grand Line so much.
Yeah, since they've hyped it up, there's so many pirates out there, and, like, that's supposed to be the real place to go. It's the most dangerous. I want to see some bad guys.
Yeah.
I really do, especially since they got to go to all the islands now.
Well, just whatever the log post sends them to. But, yeah, you'll see a lot more. I'm going to say that. Okay. I'm not going to say who.
Okay.
But there's some pretty good villains in the Grand Line.
Okay.
I'm not going to say they're all winners, but there's some good ones.
Okay. That's all I can hope for. It's going to be almost 800 episodes, so yeah, I know all of them won't be winners, but I do want some good ones out there.
Right. Like I said, Arlong is one of my favorite villains. The guy in the case downstairs with the hook.
Oh, yeah.
He's my top villain. But there are some other really good ones as well. Yeah, Arlong is definitely... his arc definitely was the one that made me go, One Piece is amazing.
It really is. It was definitely a change. It changed the whole show. Like, the whole feel of the show changed with that arc. And it was like, it's not even just Nami. It's just the whole arc itself is just powerful.
Yeah.
Like,
it definitely is.
I'm just going to go as far as to say that. That whole arc is pretty powerful.
And like we keep saying, up until that point, it's good.
But it's not great.
It's like, I see what you want to do, but I think you could do a lot more.
And then
you get to that arc and you're like, this is what I wanted.
This is, that's what you, when you hear One Piece and you get to watch all the other arcs before that arc, you're like, okay, I get it. I don't think it's as great, but then you get to that arc, and that's where you start to see, like, I can see why people would probably say it's the greatest if they bring this to the table.
Yeah. That, and I'm not even going to say, this is not the arc that made One Piece my favorite. It made me love One Piece, but it was not my favorite at the time. My favorite is way later, and that is, it's not even the whole arc, it's just a specific episode.
Oh, okay.
When we get to it, I'll tell you.
Okay.
But it is a specific episode from an arc that made me love One Piece so much that it took over the #1 spot for me.
Okay.
And I think I was correct when I told you that this is the arc that made me love it. And I think that happened with you.
I think so too. Like I said, I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Up to this point. Like, it wasn't bad. There was definitely some scenes that made me feel. But I was like, I don't think it's great.
Yeah.
I don't think it deserves all the hype that it's getting. And then you get to this, and it definitely is different.
Yeah. I know up until, I know for a while, I would always watch videos on, like, top 10 coolest scenes from One Piece. And the one scene that would usually be either #1 or #2 would be the walk to Arlong Park, where the group is heading to Arlong Park.
Yeah. That
is usually, at least at that time, was one of the best scenes. Because people knew things were going down. Because the group was finally going to handle Arlong.
Yep.
And just destroy him. Which is what I think everybody at that time wanted.
Yep.
But yeah, as far as arcs, I already know what your #1 is.
Yeah.
So let's exclude Arlong.
Okay.
Excluding Arlong, which one would you say was your favorite?
Like, besides that arc, which arc did I like other than that?
Yeah,
like,
which one would you say would be the second best? Considering everything, like the backstories that they might have thrown in, the characters that were introduced. Sanji's? Yeah. I think for me, I always see it as like, it just got better. Up until the end of this arc.
Yeah.
It was like, it's okay. It's,
Wait, isn't the one with Sanji right before they go back to get? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it just gets better and better and better, and then you get to Arlong, you're like, Jesus.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say my second is.
And then Logtown is kind of like just a cool down, because it's like, okay, well, you had a huge arc where you hated somebody, so let's just kind of cool you down a bit, get it to where you're a little mellowed out, and you see a little bit of a threat to Luffy, and then we're gonna get you into the Grand Line.
Yeah. So.
And then that's where we get to episode 61, which is technically, like, half of it is filler. So we're not talking about that. Yeah. But we're talking about when they get to the Red Line, where they're talking about how, okay, well, it's going up a mountain.
I would say my favorite part of them going, like, finally starting to go up there is when, without Luffy, they wouldn't have made it.
Oh, you mean when he becomes...
When he expands and he, like, pushes the ship away, that really just shows, like, without Luffy,
they would have been dead.
They would have all died.
Their ship would have been destroyed. They would have sunk, and they'd have just drowned.
Yeah. So it's like, that's the start. Like, you see all of them just like, even Usopp, like, they all are like, this is gonna happen, as they're fighting to go up, the way up, and when they finally reach the top and they go all the way down, you can see the happiness and the relief on all of their faces. Luffy the most, but...
Yeah.
That's because he's trying to be Pirate King.
And if he wants to, he's got to be there.
Yeah, so...
In fact, all of their dreams, they have to be there.
So I would say... It's more relieving to see them... Finally make it. Because you see them up to this point fighting so hard to
get there.
To get there, for him to get enough people in his crew, to pick out the right crew, to really get everything for when they're finally there. I feel like it's more relief. Like...
And then the lucky circumstances that had to happen on Logtown in order for them to just get there with Luffy.
Right. It's
because you knew he wasn't going to die, but even though you know that, you're like,
you still get wrapped up into it. Like, what's going to happen?
Am I wrong? Like, you know you're not wrong because there's like 700 episodes.
Yeah.
But if you're just watching it and you have never read the manga, and you don't know. Like, let's say this is the newest episode that came out.
Yeah, you wouldn't know, like, if he's gonna make it. You'd be like, oh my god, he's not gonna make it to the Grand Line. To see him defeat all odds.
Yeah.
To get there, and finally, all of them make it. Like, at one point, I was kind of worried that they weren't all gonna
get there.
But the fact that they all made it there really just, like, was a relief. Because I was like, finally, they start their actual journey to the Grand Line and trying to become the Pirate King, and all of them trying to accomplish their own goals.
Yeah.
Like, this is now where they all start to grow.
Definitely. And I thought it was really cool, an Usopp moment, when Sanji and Zoro are fighting the Marines on the dock, and he jumps into the ocean to get closer so he can shoot some of them.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool. That was a good scene for Usopp.
It was a good brave moment, because you could see, like, he can be brave.
Yeah. It was, especially with the way the waves and everything were going, he could have got swept up into the current.
It was going pretty
he could have died. But he took the chance, went in there, and just started helping out.
He risked it all for his crew.
Yeah.
And that's something if you would have asked me in the beginning, like, after seeing Usopp's backstory, or after, like, just being introduced to Usopp, like, do you think he would protect his crew? I would have said no. I don't think he would. He's too much of a weenie.
Especially after he left Zoro.
Yeah.
Like,
it just, like, kind of sealed the fate that it's like, you're not a part of the team because you're not willing to put your life on the line.
And then in that moment he does.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well, maybe I gotta rethink Usopp.
Yeah, you just, like, you sit there and you're like, well, maybe he's not as bad as I think he is. Maybe he does want to be there and, like, he does care about him, and he's willing to step out of his weenie zone.
Weenie zone.
To protect the people he cares about, and that's the crew right now.
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to that one, because
Usopp
did show that he can be brave. Sometimes. Now he just needs to show more of that.
Yeah, a little bit more frequently, but slowly but surely. He'll get there, I feel like.
Slowly. So yeah, now that we've gone through that, I mean, we didn't talk about a lot of the arcs. Syrup Village, that was Usopp's. We kind of just skimmed over it. Yeah. Kuro wasn't that great of a villain.
I feel like we talked about all the main points.
Yeah.
Of this saga, I would say.
I would say so. Kuro and Krieg, like you said, they didn't really leave much of an impression.
They didn't.
Krieg is just, he's a big mouth with, like, a lot of weapons. Kuro was just some dude who wanted to stop being a pirate. He wanted to take someone else's life, basically. It's like, I don't like mine, I'm going to take yours.
Yeah, so I would say that's about...
Yeah,
that's about everything.
And I think you already went into what you expect.
Yeah.
From now on. You want more villains like Arlong, or maybe even better.
Yeah.
You want to see them grow.
I want to see them grow. I want to see their journey towards
their goals.
What they have to go through to get there.
Yeah.
Because it's not about the destination, it's about how you get to there. So I want to see how they all get there. Some of them, I do assume, will get there slower than others.
Yeah.
But I want to see how overall
they
do get there, and what's the big thing that's going to make them change. And then I do know that they have to pick up some
guys
more people
along the way.
So...
Well, 2 guys and a girl. 3 guys and a girl.
So that's what I'm looking forward to, and that's what I'm expecting. I hope it's good.
Yep.
So,
well, I mean, I could say it's good, but it's up to you to decide whether you think it's good or not.
I hope it's good. I hope it meets what I'm hoping it will be. My expectations of now that are set for my own personal self. So.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, overall, how would you say this arc was, or saga?
Good. Very needed.
Good introduction to the characters.
It definitely was. I like it.
Yeah.
Overall, the saga, I did enjoy it.
And as far as characters, like the crew,
I like them. I really do. I think he picked each person very wisely.
Yeah. He knows who he wants. There's only a couple where he let them go, and that was the dude in the treasure chest. Yep. And kind of feel like there was one other one. He was going to let Sanji leave. Like, he wasn't going to.
He was going to
force Sanji.
He was going to let him go, but then
because Sanji was very adamant about not going.
Yeah.
But he wasn't going to force him. He was like, okay,
whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'll let you go. But then Sanji changed his mind because he heard that whole speech. But yeah, he knows what he wants as far as a crew, and he's not going to really back down if you say no.
Yeah.
He's going to try to convince you. Join me.
Be part of my team.
And overall for villains, I know Arlong is the top, but overall,
most of them were lacking.
Most of them were lacking.
Most of them were lacking. If I'm excluding Arlong, they were lacking.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Side characters. Like characters you met specific for the arc.
I liked them. Like the dog, that's what's up. Even with Usopp, the girl, because she played an important role.
Yeah.
She got them married.
Yeah, she got him the ship.
So, I can't appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, I do think the side characters that they do bring along serve a very important purpose. So, I do like the side characters.
Okay. And so far, how would you say, like, a lot of the powers have been? Like, what's the ones that you've seen? Like, as far as devil fruits.
They're okay.
They're okay? Like, I think you've only really seen a few.
Yeah.
Like Buggy, Luffy, Smoker. I think that's it.
The girl, now she's all smooth and...
Oh, yeah, Alvida. So, yeah, you've seen 4.
So, at this moment, they're okay. The only one that's really kind of been like, ooh, was, Smoker. Just because of, and now, it's more of a wonder for Luffy. But they're okay up to this point. It makes me more excited for more Devil Fruit. I feel like this is like, they can't put all of the goodness in the beginning.
Yeah, no.
So I know it's just going to get better as it goes. So this was okay.
A good introduction to the kind of powers you will see.
Yeah, what is possible of them having. So
I will say, never overlook a Devil Fruit.
Mm.
Like, you'll see somebody who might have something that looks like, that's kind of a useless power. But don't overlook it.
Okay.
The creator is very good, like Oda.
Mm-hmm.
He is very good at pulling the potential out of anything as far as powers go. So, just don't overlook a power whenever you see it. Okay. Is all I'm going to say.
All right.
And I've told you this before, but never count out seeing a previous character.
Yeah, I know you've told me that in the past, that just because you've seen them doesn't mean that they won't come back. So, when I see people now, I'm just like, well, I don't know. You're cheeky.
So those are like the only 2 things I've ever told her, really, before we started. Don't count out a character. Never think that you're done with them. There's always a possibility they will return. And the powers, which I just told her now, never overlook a power because it could potentially be great.
Okay.
Depending on how the person uses it.
All right.
And expect to see a lot more Devil Fruits because you're in the Grand Line now.
Yeah, I figure that everyone that's there probably has eaten a Devil's Fruit.
Which is probably also why it's a legend in the other seas, because it's all in the Grand Line. I think I said that in one of the arcs, that I told you, or Grandma at least, that I think it's called a legend because everybody has eaten one already. Because they're always like, I didn't know they existed. And it's like, well, because everybody's got one.
Yep.
And they're all in the Grand Line, so...
Yeah, they're all gone right now.
Yeah. So... Overall, how have you liked One Piece? Would you say that, as far as, like, up until this point, people have been kind of correct about their assumption of you enjoying it?
I think people saw the potential and judged it pretty well. And I'd say it's pretty fair up to this point. I won't go as far and say it's the greatest or anything like that, because right now it's not. But it's very good.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. Well, even for me, up until this point, it was, like I said, I loved it, but it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
But, I'm not saying it's going to happen for you, but I know for a specific episode, it made it my favorite.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if that's going to happen for you or not, or if you're just going to, like, think the same way. It's really good, and I really, really enjoy it, but it's not, like, the greatest.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to change. That's all up to you.
Hopefully, like, something blows me away to where I had that feeling. I'd love to have that feeling for a show. To be honest, I don't think any show has really ever
done that.
Blown me away. Like, there's a lot of anime that I like, and I'll watch again, but there's not an anime that I love, that I'll go as far to say it's the greatest.
Yeah.
I haven't had that experience.
And I can't say for you, because, you know,
yeah.
you're your own person. But I can't say that One Piece will be that. It just depends on what you...
How I take things.
How you take things. Like, when you watch them, if you see something that actually does that for you, awesome. Because, I mean, I feel that way about the show. So, and a lot of people feel that way about this show. There's so many different things that'll happen in this show that'll make you feel certain ways that I don't know. There might be something in here that'll do that for you, but I'm not going to say for sure. So I think that's it for this discussion.
We went over
our hour limit, but only by half.
So it's not too bad. I think it's better that we set limits.
Yeah.
Because then even if we go over, I feel like we monitor ourselves a little bit better without cutting what we had to say.
Out. The only things we really cut out were things that we didn't really think were too important.
Things that didn't make an impact.
Yeah, at least for us. If we didn't talk about something you thought we should have talked about, then we're sorry.
Yep.
If you want to talk about it, you can mention it in the comments, and we'll comment about it.
Yeah. I'll talk to you guys about it.
Yeah.
No spoilers here.
Yeah, no spoilers, please, about what's coming up later. I've tried my best not to spoil anything. I know I've given hints to stuff, but I haven't fully spoiled anything yet, and I'm pretty proud of myself for that.
So if you guys do leave a comment below, just make sure that you guys don't leave any spoilers, and if so, then I'll actually go in there and reply to you guys.
Yeah. That's basically the only reason she doesn't really go into comments too often. Is she's afraid of spoilers, and Andre's been going through them, monitoring.
He's been going through it for me to make sure. That's why I reply to some people. Still not a lot, because I'm always busy, or I'm worried. Like, maybe he doesn't know.
Yeah. So, yeah. Belle does read them whenever she is told this one's fine.
Yep. You can read this one, and then that specific one is clicked on for me to read.
And I didn't come up with this. This was something Belle did on her own.
Yeah, I did this method because I wanted to find a way to try to talk to you guys in some form of way without risking having things spoiled, so I can't give genuine reactions.
Right.
So I had my significant other sort through them, and then if he finds something that he thinks I would like to reply to that has no spoilers, he'll click on it and hand me the phone, say, you should read this.
Exactly.
And then I'll reply.
So yeah. Or she'll notice that I put something in a comment where I'm like, Belle will give her answer for this.
Yep, and then like, I get it, and then
because sometimes it's a question like that only you can answer.
Yeah, it's
and
for
I'm
me.
Like, well, I can't really answer this, but she'll come by. She'll give you an answer, and that kind of gives her the like, okay, I should answer this one.
Yep.
Or I can answer this one.
This one's okay to go to.
Yeah. Because she hasn't seen so much. I just don't want her to get spoiled.
It's just, even if it's not for that specific show, I do worry that we run the risk of someone spoiling a completely different show that we may not watch now, but who knows, maybe down the road.
Yeah, I was a little anal about it before, like really, especially with Madoka, because there's a lot of potential for spoilers in some of the comments that were being said. But I think I've toned it down a bit. Yeah,
and I feel like they're respecting it.
Yeah. So,
I think that's about...
Yeah, that's about it for this discussion. Again, if we did not talk about something you wanted us to talk about, mention it in the comments. We'll comment back what we thought, or if you wanted our thoughts on a certain character or a certain scene or something.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Yeah. Again, we'll do this next time after the next arc, which I think ends at episode 135, which is a filler arc. But the true arc or saga ends on 130.
Okay.
So we don't add in the filler anyway, so we might just
might do it right after the 130.
Yeah.
And then just add the filler into when we go on to the next one after it.
Yeah. Because again, we don't even talk about the filler.
Yeah.
Because we skipped it this time. Because there's no point.
No, it's just fun. Fun adventures. That's it.
Mm-hmm. We'll pretty much tell you what we thought about it after the filler.
Yep.
But, like, it was enjoyable, which I thought it was for this one.
Yep.
But yeah, if you enjoyed this discussion, Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button so you can get updates on our releases. And check out our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for anything else we decide to post. So, until next time.
Bye.
Bye.